Hey everybody, Ryan F. MTG here, and today we're talking about all the purple cards from the new set, Haunted by Memories. We've done two colors before, so we have purple and black to go. Today we're talking about the purple cards. I'm pretty excited for purple because I have high hopes for it, because the mechanic slash theme of the set is memory, which all has to do with action spells, which, you know, quite a lot of purple decks want to be playing a lot of action spells like the Big Resonate or other type of things. You know, 3.5 Morgan doesn't play tons of actions, but it still does. So therefore, I do want to preference this where before we were looking at red and green, I was kind of down on some of the red and green cards that had high action or memory thresholds of, you know, 4 or higher. I thought was a little bit hard to get to. However, that threshold of hard to get to for purple is a little bit higher because, you know, in some big resonate style decks, you're only playing 6 or 7 units and the rest are actions. So you can easily, or more easily, I should say, be hitting a 4, 5, 6, even 7 threshold of memory. So keep that in mind where, you know, sometimes I'll look at, you know, something that with 6 memory and maybe I'll like that in purple, where in the previous colors I was pretty down on it. But that's it for that little tangent. Let's jump into the purple units. The first purple unit is the legendary. It's Hidden Threat 0. It's 7 MP for 3/6 with agility. I really like agility, so hopefully these pumps are pretty good. It has memory 7, which is high, but like I said before, if this isn't a big resonate style deck where, you know, 20 some cards are actions, if not a little bit more, you can definitely get to 7. This returns a unit in front to the EX pocket if its MP cost is 6 or less. That's awesome, and that's a humongous tempo advantage, because MP cost 6 or less means that this will bounce the vast majority of things. Yes, every once in a while it won't bounce something, but the vast majority of the time it's bouncing something, and that's awesome. If you have memory 10, which 10 is getting to be quite a bit, but, you know, you could still do this, but this would definitely be a late game play for a big resonate style deck. This gets +2/+4, which is kind of awesome, because that means it would turn into a 5/10 with agility and bounce something. So overall, 0 is a pretty heavy hitter with this big tempo advantage and agility, which I like this. So this definitely only goes into a really big resonate style deck, or just a big heavy action spell deck, and if you can pull it off, if you can get the memory 7 and 10, this could find a home there. V is 5 MP for 1/8. Okay, those stats are not great. You know, 8 health is quite a bit. However, it says, when played, if there is an action card in your EX pocket, return a random enemy unit with an attack of 2 or less to the EX pocket. Overall, I think that's a cool effect because it has like an EX synergy, which, you know, purple definitely, like with Foresights and other card draw, you definitely have stuff in your EX pocket sometimes. However, I'm just pretty off V. You know, for 5 MP for this situational bounce spell, and also it is only a unit with 2 attack or less, so sometimes some people don't even play those. You know, it seems a little bit too situational for 5 MP, and especially just like a 1/8 body. That's not attacking that much. It will stick around, but overall, I'm not a big fan of V. Mitsune is 4 MP for 1/7 with agility. It has attack, give a random enemy unit -1 attack effective for 1 attack. That's a great synergy because it has agility, so that will give that RNG element of a -1 buff to units more often, and that is awesome. And then it has memory 7, which is a high threshold, but, you know, you could get there, you are purple, +2 attack. Overall, if you can get that memory 7 with the agility, it becomes a 3/7, and that is awesome. And I know I keep saying like, oh, maybe in a big resonate style deck, this is good. However, we're kind of giving some more like low curve fillers like this monster. If you are playing this, maybe you kind of shy away from the co's, and maybe, you know, you play 0, even though 0 is 7 MP, it is still pretty high. But the one thing against that is that to really make this monster shine, you want memory 7. So that means this is definitely a mid to late play, where that 4 MP is still low because you can like net MP play this and still have a lot backed up. So that is good, but it's not like you're jamming this as soon as you get, you know, 4 MP or something. So overall, I like this, and I'm very curious to see if there's a new like, you know, big resonate, but rather than the big resonate be more just like a lots of spells with other units rather than those traditional big resonates of a Buki and Co. Metal Shark player. I find that funny because it's like, why not just Metal Shark? I'm sure this is something from Mega Man, but just player seems kind of, I don't know, makes me chuckle a little bit. But this is 5 MP for 1/8. If you have memory 2, it places 1 Necro Centipede onto the field. Necro Centipede is a 4 MP for 2/3 unit, of course, and it says resonate, give +1/+1 to a random friendly unit other than itself. So this is kind of nice because it can pump the Metal Shark player or whatever else you have on board, but it does have resonate. So this kind of goes back to what I was saying about this monster of maybe there's going to be a heavy spells deck, but with more lower curve of creatures. And if that's true, Metal Shark player, it's kind of nice that he brings a friend and that friend pumps Metal Shark player or whatever else you have on field. So I'm pretty interested, especially that memory count is just 2 MP, or sorry, just 2. That's pretty low, so this could be a very early beginning, not super beginning of the game, but pretty early to mid game play, which is pretty nice. Surgus is 3 MP for a 2/5. A 2/5 body for 3 MP, that's not terrible by any means, that's a lot of health. One play gives a random action card in your hand or EX pocket -1 MP. Of course, MP cost cannot go below 1. Overall, I don't really like this. If you are in the market for a 3 MP 2/5, then yeah, this is good. So maybe in a 3.5 or 4, 3.5 for Morgan list, that's good. However, those usually don't play tons of actions. They still play a handful, but sometimes your hand is full of all units, so therefore you're not getting the -1 MP buff, and that's where this would shine. So overall, I don't really find this guy finding a home. Trish is 4 MP for a 2/5. It says, Death, send 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard, then give a random friendly unit other than self Flight. That's a pretty good effect, because Flight is super powerful. However, this is a death trigger. So maybe you play Trish, they kill your other units, then Trish dies in battle, and then you're not getting anything for it. And that feels really bad, especially that this is just a 4 MP 2/5, and that's not terrible, but we just looked at a 3 MP 2/5, so that doesn't feel great. So I think the effect of Flight is really good, but I think I'd rather be playing Hookshot or something like that if I want to give my units Flight, because that's just more consistent. Shogun is 5 MP for 1/8. Okay, that's a lot of health, and it says resonate +1 attack. Overall, I think this is cool, and yet again, if you are playing a big or more low to the curve action-based deck, this could find a home, but I think Trish is just better, right? Because also Trish is 4 MP, so that's cheaper. Yes, it doesn't have as much HP right off the bat, but with Resonate, it gets +1/+1. So overall, I think Shogun isn't bad. It's just probably any deck, in my opinion, that would want Shogun probably just plays Trish. To be fair though, if you want the 4th or 5th Trish, I think that's when Shogun could shine. But D is 6 MP for a 4/5 with memory 4, it gets +1/+2. So that means if you have the memory 4, it's going to become a 5/7 for 6 MP, which is pretty darn good, right? But there's nothing else to it, and 6 MP isn't tons, but when we have Abukis or just a little bit more, you could play Ko or Zero and other legendaries, I don't really find myself playing D, right? I think it's a fine card, but there's just way other better things to be doing in a purple spells-based deck. Tigrex is 4 MP for a 3/6, so that's pretty good rate for 4 MP, that's a big body. It does have a downside. It says when play, send 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. It has no other ability. So overall, if you just kind of want more of a vanilla unit that is a little bit more powerful than the rest, or actually quite a bit more powerful, then this monster is good. However, I don't think that's usually what purple decks want, right? Purple decks either want that 3.5 synergy, that things are doing stuff with growth, or, 4 MP, which this is a 4 MP body, right? But you still can play Beltways and 4 Eyes and stuff like that to get some extra benefits. So overall, this is a good body, and if you're in the home for a vanilla unit, but I just don't really see a purple deck wanting this that much. Colleen is 3 MP for a 3/2, which is a pretty good attack, but very low health. When played, explore for weakness, which weakness can help maybe Colleen trade off in battle or even kill a unit, with using weakness on it. But overall, I don't think Colleen's bad, I just don't really see a home for her. Manula is 3 MP for a 2/5 with memory 2, adds 1 action card from your deck to the EX pocket. This is kind of cool because this basically is just a cantrip for a 2/5 body, which, if you're a big Resonate style deck, we used to play Ada, so maybe this just kind of takes the place of Ada where, stealth isn't as good. And yes, it is random what action, but it could be a really good action, or you're really usually playing decent actions, and just for memory 2, most of the times that memory 2 will be turned on, so she will cantrip. So I'm kind of a little interested in playing this card in a spells based deck, or actually even in like a 3.5 Morgan deck. You can play her because you still play some actions, and this just tutors up. It doesn't matter if you have 20 actions in your deck or 1 action, it will find that. I guess if you only have 1 and you already drew it, then she doesn't cantrip. But overall, I feel like she might be seeing some play. Time for the actions, which are the very important parts of a lot of purple decks. So first up, we have the 2 legendaries, and first off, it's X Hunters. This is 7 MP, so quite expensive. However, it's a one-shot army in a can, so it's pretty cool. It says, place a Cruel Mind into one of your empty board spots. Now, Cruel Mind says, this is a unit, it's 5 MP for 1/9. With Resonate, gives all friendly units other than self HP +1. And it says also when on the field gives friendly Dark Blade and Reckoning Ball Veil, which is pretty darn cool. Now, if you have memory of 10, you get Dark Blade. If you have memory of 15, you get... if you get memory 10, you get Dark Blade and Wrecking Ball, which is the both of those. So you can, if you have memory of 10, you get 3 units for the price of 1. And if you have memory of 15, additionally give all friendly units +2/+2. Which is awesome, but memory of 15 is very high. So really, if you can get that memory of 10, this can definitely be worth it. 15 is just icing on the cake, because Dark Blade, and they all synergize together and pump each other, right? Dark Blade it's a 5 MP for a 2/7 with agility, and Veil, since the other unit gives its Veil, and then when on the field, gives the other 2 units combo, which is awesome. And then Wrecking Ball is 5 MP for 3/5, and it has Heavy Pierce and Veil and combo with the other ones. You get my point. While on the field, gives the other friendly units Spillover. And this is just for the other friendly units, right? Just like it's those 3 pump each other. So if you have a Buki's not giving spillover or anything like that. But altogether, if you can get that memory of 10, you get these 3 units that all give each other either pumps with Resonate or Spillover or Combo or Veil, and just this one-shot army. And I think this card is very, very cool. Yes, all these units aren't particularly impressive, but they come as a package as long as you have that memory of 10. So overall, I like this card, and I will definitely be playing this in a big Resonate or just a heavy spells purple deck, because you need to get to that 10. Hey, if you can get to that 15, this is even more powerful. The last purple legendary is Maverick's Memories. This is 2 MP. It says destroy a friendly unit and negate an action card with MP cost of 5 or less. If you have memory 10, you just negate anything and everything, and you don't need to sack anything. Which, overall, that's a pretty cool, unique card, and pretty powerful just for 2 MP if you can get that memory 10. So maybe in a heavy action purple deck, have that be big Resonate or kind of a new 0 heavy action base deck. If you can get to memory 10, this is an awesome card. If you can't get to memory 10, I don't think this is particularly worth it. Destroying a friendly unit just to negate something is a pretty high bar, but if you're playing a lot of units, right, like a more 3.5 Morgan list or something like that, or a new 3.5 0 list or something like that, right? A 0 list with a lot of units, and maybe just a lot of units that already got value, it could be worth it. So overall, this is versatile, and usually versatility in cards is very good. So overall, I could see this being played, and it is just a one-off, so you're not seeing it every game because it's a legendary. So overall, I like this card. I definitely think, though, there is some deck building restrictions around it. Miraculous Awakening, 2 MP, gave a friendly unit death, return itself to the EX pocket. Memory 4, additionally give that unit death +2 MP. So kind of a ramp spell. I think this is pretty cool, especially with purple, Yes, we do have Zero, so he will bring to light new types of purple decks. But if this is a heavy base, and I might keep saying big resonate style deck, but also when I say that, just know that I'm more saying just a lot of actions with not tons of units. You want 1, 2, and 3 MP. 2 is the sweet spot, you're right, because 2 is still free in active response phase. So when I look at 2 MP cost actions, I'm like, okay, tell me more. I like this card because give a friendly unit death, return itself to the EX pocket is super good. That's why Z Viper is pretty darn good because she just keeps coming back and back and back. You can make this on a Buki. Yes, it's a one-time deal, but that's still awesome. And then Memory 4 is not that hard to achieve when you're playing with Ibuki, stuff like that. And giving a death of 2 MP ramp just means that you can play that Ibuki faster. Overall, I really like this card quite a lot. Loss of meaning. It's 1 MP, okay, tell me more because I just talked about how much I like 1, 2, and kind of 3 MP actions in purple. Gives -1 MP to a random action card with an MP cost of 2 or more in your EX pocket. I think I'm kind of off this because, if you really are that desperate for 1 MP, you could just do like Jackpot or the Explore one or something like that. Because this is too situational where it's just to your EX pocket. If this was to your hand or EX pocket, it would be a lot better. But too situational. Cold Front is 3 MP, returns all enemy units with attack of 1 or less to their decks. This is pretty awesome because it's not to their EX pocket, it's to their deck. If I'm thinking in a world, if Yan Li is still so good, even after the nerfs and after a meta change, when they're playing all the MP ramp units, this just hoses that, right? Or it's kind of like they need to play around Cold Front, and it's that mind game of like, oh, does my purple opponent, are they playing Cold Front? Should I flood the board with my MP ramp, or do I need to play it slow? And just Cold Front being in the meta, if it is a card that's played, is good for purple decks. Because if the Chun-Li or Yan-Li opponent is playing with that in mind, it's slowing them down of their game plan. So overall, I think this is a pretty cool like mind game card. I'm not sure how much it's really going to be play because it's very meta dependent of how many 1 attack units are there. But overall, I think this is pretty cool and very powerful if you are playing it in the right meta. Calculated Guidance is 4 MP, and 4 MP you kind of have to be doing quite a bit for me to want to be playing this in most purple decks. Seize control of an enemy unit with an MP cost of 3 or less, and I'm pretty off this because 3 or less means just an MP cost of 3, and yes, there are some really great enemy or units that your enemy can be playing that are costs of 3, but some decks don't play this, and also this is 4 MP for that effect. I think it's just a little bit too high costed. Yes, it's very nice because it's a great tempo if you're stealing something from your opponent. But overall, I don't think this is, I think it's too narrow. Maybe if it was like 4 or less, but then also I feel like 4 MP would be maybe too low for that. So overall, as the stats, as the MP, I don't particularly like this card. Escape from Control, for another 4 MP action. It says returns 1 friendly unit to your deck and returns 1 random enemy unit to their deck. I believe their deck is opponents, that's a little weird wording. But overall, it's like, oh, I bounce 1 of mine and you have to bounce 1 of yours. You get to pick what you bounce, but it is random on the enemy's side. So I think that effect is fine, especially because like if they're playing all heavy hitters, that's awesome, and so that tempo advantage can definitely go your way. But I think if I want to play other bounce spells, I think there are other ones that are a little bit better than Escape from Control. Daigo Parry, well, just parry. I doubt that it's as good as Daigo's parry. This is a 4 MP action. It says return an enemy unit with 2 or less attack to the EX pocket. If you have Memory 4, it can be 3 or less. Yet again, I think this is a good pump spell. But overall, I don't think I'll be playing this because 4 MP for an action is a little bit higher than I want to be paying. And yes, this effect is good because it is, you could be bouncing, there are some like 6 MP units that have 2 or 3 attack. But overall, for 4 MP, I don't think I'm in the market for the bounce spells. Also, we have seen quite a few bounce spells, and maybe I am underplaying it, but right now I think I would rather just be playing like a lot of the halt spells that are 1, 2, or 3 MP over parry. Secret is 2 MP. Okay, I love 2 MP action, so tell me more. Gives an enemy unit -1 attack, effective for 1 attack. Okay, that's fine, but not really worth 2 MP and worth a card more. However, it has Memory 4, which isn't too hard to get in a heavy action spells deck. Additionally, halt that unit for 5 seconds. That is actually awesome because this is like Dark Grasp and stuff like that. And Crystal Hunter, and especially there's no MP cap. This can be a 3 MP unit or a 10 MP unit or whatever. So overall, I really like this if you can get your memory to 4, right? So this is not one of the first cards that you really want to be playing, because if it is, you would rather be having it be other halt spells. So overall, is this better than some of the other halt spells? I'm not quite sure, but maybe this is kind of like a 1 or 2 of, because you're seeing it a little bit less, and so then you can hold it for that mid to late game. So overall, I think Secret has potential. Armor Shredder Technique is 3 MP, gives a friendly unit Reverberate, which means Resonates will trigger an additional time when an action card is used. This effect can stack, which is pretty cool, because if you place this on like a Ko or like, a Buki, it's just going to go crazy. It has Memory of 4, additionally gains 2 MP. That is awesome, because if you can do Memory 4, this kind of costs 1 MP, and that is such a good rate. So I know I've talked about how maybe 0 will bring to light this more like action-based, big resonate, but maybe without the resonate. I think this fits into the traditional big resonate style deck. And yes, maybe it's not a 3 of, but a 1 or 2 just to make your Bukis or Ko or Trish, whatever your resonate unit of choice, just to make them close out the game or just become more bigger and healthier and beefier. And also netting 2 MP is awesome. So I like this card. Now comes a very unique card, I'll put it that way. Exposed Evil Eye is 3 MP, and it says gives MP boost 30 to your hero for 35 seconds. I kind of think this card is unique and cool because a lot of times MP is more of a green thing, and we have seen it kind of in black a little bit, but now purple's kind of getting it. Well, the big question is this worth it, right? Is the MP ramp boost of 30 worth it for 35 seconds to, 1, cost you 3 MP, and another one cost you a card? I am happy I didn't need to do the math because some people on Reddit did it. They said if you do this, if you play this card, not in active response, so actually spend 3 MP, you will net a little MP. However, though, if you do this in active response, you will net more, obviously, because this just becomes 1. But overall, I don't think this card is really worth it. The big argument is that this is just a memory count trigger or resonate count trigger, right? And I think that's good because, you can play this and it kind of is like pseudo free over time. But we have so many good actions from previous sets and even this sets that are halting stuff or having our stuff get bigger or flight or evasion that I'm not really sure if we need Evil Eye just kind of being a net neutral or maybe a little bit of MP. But, we'll kind of wait and see. But right now, I don't think this will be super played. But I'm also very willing to be wrong with this one. Knockout is 4 MP, halt an enemy unit for 5 seconds, memory of 2, additionally deals 3 damage to all enemy units with halt. That's a great effect, and memory 2 is not that much, but I don't really feel like I'm going to be playing this card, because 4 MP just to halt something for 5 seconds is definitely not worth it. And yes, the dealing 3 damage is pretty good, but think about big resonate style decks, you're usually playing halt spells, and you usually don't necessarily care about killing your opponent's units. It's more just like halting their stuff so your Ibuki can fly over for the win or something. And having this be 4 MP is just a little bit too much, and you're not really getting as much as I want. Like, yes, it's a powerful card, but I don't think I'm going to be playing Knockout. Lullaby is 3 MP. It gives -2 attack to an enemy unit with 4 or more attack. Of note, that -2 attack does stick around for the rest of that unit's life, right? Which is pretty cool. So I think this is a good card, but I think in a lot of purple decks, I would rather be doing cards that either give my units evasion or pump, right? Like Z-Saber, or as well as just halt spells. So I don't really see Lullaby, even though it is good, but it's also 3 MP, which is just slightly higher than 2 MP. So overall, a little off Lullaby. Revelation is 2 MP. I love myself 1 and 2 MP actions, so this draws 1 card to your EX pocket. So basically a 2 MP Foresight, which doesn't seem worth it, right? However, with Memory 4, which Memory 4 is, you know, pretty easy for a lot of purple decks to get, like I've said in the past. Additionally, return 1 random action card from your graveyard to your EX pocket, which is awesome. Because if you have Memory 4, this just draws you 2 cards, right? 1 card from your deck and 1 card that you've already played, and you're like, so if you halt something, you'll get that halt back, or if you hook shot something, you'll get that hook shot back. However, keep in mind your EX pocket is only 2 cards, right? There's just 2 slots. So this will fill up your EX pocket if you have Memory of 4. So be sure to, if you have something in your EX pocket, play that before playing Revelation. But I like Revelation. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other, Foresights and stuff like that. But I think that just the ability of drawing 2 cards seems pretty great to me. So I'm pretty high up on Revelation. Unforeseen Destruction is 4 MP. I feel like we've been getting a lot of 4 MP actions in purple this set, and I've been kind of lukewarm on all of them. So let's see if this changes that trend. Negates an action card with an MP cost of 3 or less. Okay, that doesn't seem that great. We have other things that are cheaper and better. However, Memory 7, it negates an action card with MP cost of 6 or less, which is pretty good. But overall, I think there's just other better counter spells that you can be playing in Teppen right now that are usually cheaper or just better. So I'm kind of not going to be playing Unforeseen Destruction. Overall, those are all the purple cards from the new set, and I'm excited. I feel like purple got some new toys that are either going to help existing archetypes like Big Resonate. Big Resonate seemed like it got a lot, and maybe some cards for like 3.5 Morgan, even though maybe those decks don't need that much help, but they might change the flavor of it. Also, with Zero being around, maybe there is going to be a more like low curve units but with a lot of action spells. And that's cool. Like, I feel like we have some very powerful purple cards that can kind of breathe some new light into what purple is doing right now, or just strengthen it. And I know that a lot of people don't necessarily love purple, but I like some Big Resonate style decks, and I definitely feel like everything got some new toys. So I'm pretty excited for these cards. But that is it for purple. Next time we'll talk about black, which is the final color. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.